Welcome to Midnight Echoes, where the most chilling tales from Reddit come to life. Tonight, we unravel a story that blurs the line between nightmare and reality. A tale so surreal, it will leave you questioning the very fabric of existence. This is the story of I had been killed 3 times in 3 different ways, on 3 consecutive days by 3 different men. Turn down the lights and let's begin. I had been killed over and over again for the past 4 days. I couldn't tell whether this nightmare had only started happening 4 days ago, or if it had been going on for much longer, and I just noticed it recently. 4 days ago, I lived my life as usual. Nothing strange had happened, until I passed by a blonde white man wearing a jumper. The man didn't seem unusual, and I didn't remember ever meeting him. However, as he walked past me, he suddenly pulled a gun from his jacket, pointed it at my face, and pulled the trigger. It happened so fast that I barely remember anything about it. I woke up the next morning with that memory vivid in my mind. It was just a nightmare, I told myself, but I was wrong. It wasn't. Later that day, as I went out to buy groceries, I passed a bald white man wearing a t-shirt and jeans. I'd never met him before. He looked nothing like the man in my dream, but they shared one thing in common. They both killed me. As he walked past me, he pulled a hammer from under his shirt and swung it toward the back of my head. The next thing I knew, I was waking up in my room. No wounds, no blood, just the memory of 2 different men killing me in 2 different ways on 2 consecutive days. At first, I thought it was just a strange dream within a dream, but I was wrong. It wasn't. On the 3rd day, as I was about to get into my car, a young man appeared out of nowhere. He pulled a knife from under his clothes and stabbed me in the chest. I had been killed 3 times in 3 different ways on 3 consecutive days. Something strange was happening. On the 4th day, I decided to take control. I sneaked out of my house, careful and watchful. I was searching for any of the 3 men who had killed me. Lucky for me, I found one. The man with the hammer. I hid in an alley and waited for him to pass before grabbing him and dragging him into the shadows. I managed to knock him unconscious and tie him to a chair. When he woke up, it took hours of interrogation before he finally spoke. "If I were you, I wouldn't want to know," he said. He sighed, then continued his explanation. An explanation I never expected to hear and could barely believe. According to him, the town I lived in was an artificial town created in an underground facility called Crime Zone. The facility served one purpose: to provide a space where any crime could be committed legally. The facility had many levels, each dedicated to a specific crime. The first floor was for robbery, the second for assault, the third for rape, the fourth for murder, and so on. The deeper the level, the more horrifying the crimes. The reason for this facility? Human nature. No matter how good life seems, there's always a dark corner in the human mind. People commit crimes out of anger, lust, or worse. The facility was created to let people indulge their monstrous urges in a controlled environment, ensuring the outside world remained safe and free from crime. Outside the facility, any crime, even the smallest, was punishable by death. "Okay, say you're telling the truth," I shouted. "What about me? What about us, the people who live here? Are we just here to satisfy the twisted desires of others?" "That's the thing," he said. "You're not supposed to remember any of this." He paused. "This town is the 4th floor, the murder zone. You live your life day by day, remembering everything except the murders that happened to you. But somehow you remember," he added. "It seems like there's an error happening in your system." "An error? I'm not a machine," I yelled. The man chuckled. "Maybe not, but in a way you are. You're an artificial human." "Artificial human? That's ridiculous. I bleed just like anyone else." "No, not androids, artificial humans," he clarified. "Like clones, but not exactly. You're not real. Stop wasting your time. Let the agents fix you, and everything will go back to normal." Before I could respond, I felt a sudden electric shock from behind. I fell forward, unable to move. My vision blurred, and sounds became distant, but I could still hear bits of the conversation. "What took you so long? I paid for this." The man shouted at 2 officers in military uniforms who had appeared to untie him. "We apologize," one of them said. "It looks like we need to run diagnostics on all artificial residents." "It's sad," the first officer said, looking at me. "His only purpose is to be killed. Over and over, every single day." "Yeah, and now with this kind of error happening to him," the second officer added, "there's a risk he'll be recycled." And that concludes tonight's tale. I had been killed 3 times, in 3 different ways, on 3 consecutive days, by 3 different men. What would you do if you discovered your existence was nothing more than a twisted cycle of death and rebirth created for the entertainment of others? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If this story sent a shiver down your spine, don't forget to like this video, share it with a fellow horror fan, and subscribe to Midnight Echoes for more chilling tales from the depths of Reddit. Until next time, stay safe, and remember, not everything is as it seems. Comment next if you are excited about the next story,